Welcome to Ivery Inspires TV, and I am here with my great friend Elisa Welsh, and we are here just talking, having a good time. We're having some tea, so cheers to you.
Cheers.
And so Elisa, how you been?
I've been good. Been traveling some.
Oh, okay.
Just got back and just unpacking and putting things away. But we went to New York, Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow, New
So we had quite a trip. It was super fun with family.
Oh, good. So glad you had a great time. Wow. So what's coming up soon? What's coming up?
Well, in about a week, I'm having a brunch for some friends, and gosh, I've had to get the mail out of my dining room and put a bunch of things away. So I've been doing some spring cleaning.
Oh, well, that's wonderful, because what we're talking about today, people, is spring cleaning. And that's something everybody dreads. Nobody wants to dig out the closets. Nobody wants to get into the junk drawer. You just kind of want to do surface cleaning, which is okay for day to day, but you do have to spring clean.
Well, let's talk about that. What is spring cleaning? I mean, if you're really gonna get into it, what is it?
Well,
why is it called spring cleaning? I mean, people need to clean all the time, don't they?
Well, they call it spring cleaning because usually in the wintertime, you have a lot of dust, it's dark, so you don't want to just move things around. So in the springtime is when you really get to open the windows, open the doors, and kind of let the air come through, and then you're able to really pull things out, and they just call it spring cleaning. It's something that people call it, but it's just a season of cleaning. So you can spring clean in the fall, whatever's comfortable for you, but that's why they call it spring cleaning. And it's spring cleaning because it's a deep, thorough cleansing of your house. It's a purging, or if you don't like the word purging, it's like an editing. It's getting rid of the old, bringing in some new things, cleaning up some things. So you've been doing that?
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds like in the winter things are stagnant and
Yeah.
don't move, and everyone just wants to huddle inside. And
Right.
then we're ready to open the windows, let in some fresh air, and then you notice how much dust is built up, right?
Right. You know how many things have built up. How many pair of shoes you bought over the winter that you don't have room for now. So.
But then in the summer, after the summer, you got to get ready for the fall, and in the fall, that's a whole nother season, and
That's
you've
true.
got to get rid of your summer stuff and bring in all the school stuff or whatever happens
Right.
in the fall.
But what spring cleaning does help you do, it helps you get a system. So once you do your spring cleaning, now you have a system. So when the fall comes in and you have to transition to your winter clothes, now you have a system. Because what happens to us is we just pile things in. We just, I bought this, and we just pile it in, we just make a place for it, and we just keep it. But when you get spring cleaning, it's not only getting rid of things, but it's also coming up with a system.
Okay, so it's like habits.
So it's
really?
habits, yeah. So it's changing how you do things. It's getting you organized.
Okay, so I see why it's necessary to clean, and I definitely have experienced that in my own life.
Mhm.
But how do you get started? Because it just seems like you just get in a rut, and it just piles and piles and piles, and
Yeah.
you've got piles in every room. How do you start the cleaning process?
Well, first thing you have to do for me is I have to get my mind wrapped around doing this, because you're so used to putting stuff in the closet. Like I said, you're so used to just putting it where it just fits, and you're not finding a place for it. Now you have to mentally get yourself prepared. Okay, I have to pull everything out, put everything on the bed or on the floor. So you have to get your mind ready for the mess that you're gonna have to unearth.
Right, that's usually when I get mad. I'm like, I am so mad. I hate this. I want to get this out of here.
Yes.
And then my kid's like, oh my gosh, she's mad. We're cleaning. She's mad.
Yeah, so so you have to prepare mentally for that. You have to, so that's where it starts.
Okay.
You have to prepare mentally.
That mentally, now, okay, tell me about mental cleaning and how you clean out your mind, and how does spring cleaning have to do with just wanting to also not only clean out your house, but clean out your life, clean out do you have any feelings about that?
So when you're spring cleaning, how it has like a spiritual turn to it is habits. What habits do you feel like, oh, I need to work on that? Like, I need to work on anger, or I need to work on, I'm very short-tempered with people, or I'm not getting what I feel like spiritual growth. I feel like I'm still stagnant. Because that's what spring cleaning is all about. It's about being stagnant, and you need to move, you need room to move. So what are some things in my life or in my mind that are keeping me from moving forward? So maybe I have some old habits that I need to get rid of, or maybe I'm just not paying attention. Maybe I'm just so distracted that I can't move forward. And so spring cleaning helps you to figure out, oh, that's distracting me from growing. So
sounds like it's weeding, like how you might do some gardening and you're pulling the weeds in the garden so you can enjoy the flowers more.
Right.
But this is more in your life,
Yeah.
like cleaning out your closets. You're cleaning out more the closets of your mind. Or something.
yes,
That's what you're
yes,
talking
it's
about.
definitely.
So how do you get started with that?
It's still the same process. You still have to mentally decide, okay, I'm here and I want to move to another level.
Okay.
Either spiritually or either I want to achieve more. So let me get my mind together because I know I'm going to have to either learn something new, maybe go take a class to learn something new to grow in my area of career, or maybe I'm going to have to put more time into reading and devotion and talking with God to move higher in my spiritual level. So you have to figure out in your mind, okay, I'm mentally ready to do this. And you just have to sit there and say, okay, it's a mind. You know, it's the battle of the mind. So you have to say, okay, we're going to do this.
Kind of like
So
you have to
that's
get
what-
mad. You have to
yeah,
not
you
let
really
the
have-
state
yeah.
you're in so that you want to get to the next level.
Yeah. So you have to get, what the old saying is, you have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. So once you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, then your mind can change.
Okay.
Because you will welcome new things. You will welcome, okay, editing this out and adding this in. A lot of times with spring cleaning, people hate to get rid of items because it reminds them of a memory, or I bought this with my mom and she may no longer be here, or I bought this when the babies were 2 years old and now they're 25 and I don't want to get rid of this. But what you have to remember is getting rid of the item does not get rid of the memory. So you still always have the memory. You still always have, you bought this with mom, you have the memory. So don't hang on to things because you feel like, well, I can't get rid of this because of this. The memory's not going anywhere. What you did with that and how you bought it and who you bought it with is still there. So you still have the joy of the memory, but then you can release the item. So releasing the item doesn't release the memory.
So do you have personal experience with this?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do.
Because I know I do. I'm just...
Yeah, so I mean, for me, changing careers, like I've done makeup for 20 years, and then I feel the impression from God to move into ministry. So that meant I had to go back to school at 40 years old.
Wow.
After being out of school for 20 years in college, now I'm going back to school, thrusting myself back into studying again, writing papers. I had to really get my mind wrapped around that. Having to pay tuition again, having to do all of that that's been paid for, to have to get back into, into all of that. That took a mind change. I had to say, okay, I had to commit. I had to commit in my mind before I bought one book, before I filled out one application. I had to make in my mind, okay, we're going to do this. So that means life is going to change. It's going to go new.
Well, I was just thinking, you're talking really about the mind change, and you just have to say, I'm not happy the way that I am, and I'm going to make a change. And so then you just start digging, and you start digging. It sounds like you just start moving things out, and then you have room for something new to come into your life.
Right.
So it's just like your house. It's just like your life. You
Yeah,
have
it's just
room
like
for
your
school because you were ready to let go of some of the other things.
Right.
So.
And I did have to let go of a lot of things. So.
But I was going to ask you if you wanted to challenge. Do you want to do a challenge?
Okay, so I do have a challenge for us. And I'm going to do this too. Okay, so this is something I'm going to commit to. I would challenge everyone to please just pick one, maybe a junk drawer or something this week that you can clean out or organize. Or even just write down one thing. Be like, okay, this closet in this bedroom needs to be cleaned. So what does that look like in my mind? And just write it down. If you feel like you really want a challenge, just start working on it. Start pulling out a few things and start, organizing. And also for your spiritual life, I would challenge you to maybe take a minute to sit down, get some tea, and just think, what is it in my life that's distracting me from moving to another level? Are there some habits that I could change? And just pick one. Like, don't overwhelm yourself. Just pick one thing that you can change and just start working on it. Start thinking about it. We're just going to start with thinking. We're just going to start with our mind. So just start thinking about it. And you will find that as you start to think about it, then you'll move into the next step and the next step. And the next thing you know, you're growing.
And I just thought of something. If it doesn't seem like it's much fun, you could. I was looking at her pretty jewelry. You could start with jewelry. Clean out your jewelry box, or clean out some, and give some away. And then that makes it fun if you're just passing things on, whatnot. But anyway,
that's great. So try that challenge this week, and thank you so much for tuning in to Ivery Inspires with me and Elise. Bye.